Some people ask often, why a different squirrel form for one running up or running down? They think that, you can use a running up mannequin for a running down mannequin, and they can't. And one of the reasons being is they're just different. These two mannequins right here, this is a running up mannequin, and this is a running down mannequin. And if you can look right up here, this squirrel here is running up, and this one's running down. Now, if we turn this squirrel form around like this, he would be looking out into space. He would be looking up though. This one over here, which is running up, if we turn it around, his head would be completely look kind of crazy. So that's the reason you have a running up mannequin and a running down mannequin. You can see right here on this squirrel, this would be running up with his head up like this, and to have it running down, you have to turn the whole body and lift the head so it would be running down. Now we're going to skin this little gray squirrel, and I'm going to show you some things to do and some things not to do and some things that will help you to keep from tearing a squirrel up. The first thing and most important thing is you have to measure the squirrel to get the right mannequin. So what I do is I lay the squirrel on its side like this, take a tape measure, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the tip of the nose, which is right here, to the base of the tail. The base of the tail on this squirrel is going to be right here, about 9.5 inches in length. Then I'm going to come over here and wrap in the middle of the squirrel, wrap your tape measure around, and I'm coming up with 6.25 inches. And from these measurements are the measurements that I want to order the form from. All right. Now, there's several ways that you can mount a squirrel, and depending on how you're going to mount the squirrel is going to depend on how you're going to skin the squirrel. Some people like to skin it down the back for sitting with a nut. For running up and running down, most of the time squirrels are skinned down the belly. You can also skin a squirrel, sort of case skinning it from right here behind where his knee would be to the knee on the other side. Or if it's going to be laying on its side like this, you might want to skin the squirrel on the opposite side. But for this squirrel here, we're going to be skinning it down the belly. Now the squirrel has been skinned, and now we're ready to flesh the squirrel. Now we're at the sink, and we're going to swap squirrels, and this is the squirrel we're going to be mounting. We're going to take Dawn soap, squirt it on there and turn the water on, and just give it a good washing. Now, you want to be sure that you get all the grit, grime, blood, just any and everything you can out of the skin. Wash down in each leg. Now we're going to blow this squirrel dry. This process is going to take about 15 minutes, but it's real important to get the squirrel dry so it'll fluff real well. So let's get started. This is another method just in case you don't have an air compressor, but this method works real well. I've used it before. Use preservative, and what you want to do is just take preservative after you've towel dried it as well as you can. Work preservative down into the skin. And what the preservative is going to do is going to absorb the moisture and then just shake it out. Since we've cut the feet off the mannequin, save them, and we're going to put this much clay into whichever leg they come out of so we can reattach them to the mannequin. And watch, here we go. I use critter clay, but you can use whichever clay you prefer. Just take it. Put your small piece in, and from the outside, if you'll hold it shut, and from the outside just push, you can work the clay all the way up into the feet. Something like this would look good. I'm going to take upholstery pins. You can use any kind of pin needle you've got. Just roll each leg back, and right where the wire comes out, put a pin. put them in the holes that they go in. Slide it down on the driftwood. Then turn around to the back. Pull it snug, not real tight. Pull them up. There's no need to have so much wire back here. Go ahead and cut them off snug. Put a staple in them. We're going to try to put the final work into the squirrel. Of course, you got to come back, try to brush it. Any hair that's out of a line, you need to be sure that it's straight. The toes are all straight and not crooked. Any hair that needs to be tucked back under. What I'm going to do is I'm going to catch the skin, just a little bit of the skin on each toenail, bottom part of the toe, excuse me, and pin it. Try to fluff the tail up. Fluff the hair up on the body, around the face, the little hairs in front of the eyes, the whiskers below the eyes down here, of course on both sides. Try to pull them forward. If not, they have a tendency to lay down against the body of the squirrel. Now, for the tail, I like to use hairspray. You want to use some hairspray that holds curly hair straight hair curly. Has a lot of lacquer in it. You don't want to come up here and really sock it to it, you'll knock it down. So what you want to do is lightly coat it. Then especially where you have a bald spot like right here, after you have a little hairspray on it, you can reach in here, rob from Peter and pay Paul. We all know about doing that. Kind of cover it up. Wait a little while, and come back and put a little more on it. Any spot that doesn't seem to be fluffing up enough, after you get a little hairspray on it, you can pull it out, open it up to make it look fluffy. I usually don't put hairspray on the main part of the body, just comb it backwards and it'll fluff up. After we put the hairspray on it, we're coming down. Do all your combing work, try to get all the fur in the right spot. Now's the time you want to take the squirrel, look at it, and make sure that the eyes are level. Make sure that one's not further than the other out. If you need to, you can push the head, push the eyeball in a little bit. Position the ears, make sure that the ears are straight on both sides of the squirrel. Check the nose, make sure the nostrils are deep, one of them not deeper than the other. Pull your whiskers out, down here around the eyes. Take a little water, clean them. Check the mouth again, the nose, and we're through.